Hello, and welcome back once again to Jeffinnegans Wake, the project where I, Jeff, turn the light on, read to you, fine internet people, the book Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce, published 1939. Yeah. So, one day at a time, one page at a time. We're on to page 61. I'm going to dive right in. Scenetes una mona. Sylvia Silence, the girl detective, may Minerva, but by now one hears turtlings all over Doveland, when supplied with information as to the several facets of the case in her cozy-dozy bachelor's flat, quite overlooking John a Dream's mews, leaned back in her really truly easy chair to query restfully through her foul-threaded syllables. Have you ever thought, wepoto, that sheer greatness was his tragedy? Nevertheless, according to my considered attitudes for this act, he should pay the full penalty, pending pursuance as per subsection 32, section 11 of the CLA Act of 1885. Anything in this act to the contrary notwithstanding. Charlie Jilk began to silk, for he couldn't get home to Jelsey, but ended with, he's got the sack that helped him molt in the stench of his gladsome rags. Meagher, a naval rating, seated on one of the granite comlich sets of our new fish shambles for the usual air-eating after the ever-popular act, with whom were Cuesta and Puela, Picante in Quixote. This had a cold in her brain, while that felt a sink in her stomach. What's wet, was encouraged, although near vanished himself, by one of his co-affianced, to get your breath, Walt, and Gobbet, and when they're chidden by her fastra sastra to saddle up your pants, Navel. Thus Cor replied to her other's thanks kissing. I lay my 2 finger buttons, fiancé Meagher, he speaks. He was to blame about your 2 velvet thighs up Horniman's Hill, as Hook and I blame him or any other piskman. But I also think, Puelly Wally, by the siege of his trousers, there was someone else behind it. You bet your Bobtom Blarneys about their 3 drummers down Kear's Lane. Trite. Be these mere March and Taylor's fablings of a race reverend with Oddman Rex? Is now all seen, heard, then forgotten? Can it was, one is fain, in this leaden age of letters, now to wit, that so diversified outrages, they have still to come, were planned and partly carried out against so staunch a Covenanter? If it be true, then any of those recorded ever took place for many, we trow, Bessie too and denayed of, are given to us by some who use the truth but sparingly, and we, on this side, ought to sorrow for their pricking pens on that account. The 7th city, Vivla, that's page 61 of Finnegan's Wake. And good night.